Hello, everyone. Let me welcome here Nick Moore from Moore Organization. Thank you so much, Nick, for giving us time. A pleasure to have you with us. Nick is a very dynamic entrepreneur. You'll hear everything that he's doing. Of course, he is in the space of insurance, which is what we're focusing here on our podcast for our audience, Master AI Disruption. So welcome, Nick, and why don't you tell us about your origin story? You out of New York right now, in New York State.
Thank you. Yes, born and raised upstate New York. Middle class parents. Watched them both work very hard. Was first male in my family to go to college. Graduated from a SUNY New York school in 2010, and just blessed to have been offered an opportunity to get into the industry that I'm in. My friend's father was the president of a union, so he connected me to the financial services company that handled all of his union benefits. And so I now, started with the industry about 15 years ago
Mhm.
and been ever since just protecting unions throughout the States.
Wonderful, wonderful. So since we last spoke, a few words stuck with me about our conversation. So you're such a dynamic, intense human being, very enterprising. So you mentioned a challenge of maintaining quality with urgency. In the last 90 days, where has that tension been most acute for you?
So So right now, yeah, I mean, urgency just in general in the industry that I'm in is just there's a lot of tech and a lot of changes happening every day. And to me, it's like every good idea today is going to be a bad idea next year, the way that things are evolving. So the urgency piece in just nowadays is it's you have to cut more than you measure. I feel like the longer you wait for timing in life for anything, if you always find an excuse of why it's not good timing, you can easily identify that excuse. When is it ever perfect timing? So to me in business nowadays, you have to be prepared to roll with punches. You need to be water in the vase and be elusive to the changing times because if you're not willing to evolve, you're going to end up working for somebody who did.
Yeah, roll with pointers. I told you, like Nick is hyper dynamic. So, and then you said, people find me a problem, I'll find you a person behind it. So, with 434 people, what is the most common people related challenge that AI can solve, but that is currently taking up the most of your personal time?
Yeah, that's what I spend a lot of time on now, is eliminating areas where humans can make mistakes, specifically administrative tasks. I feel like with technology, we've never had things make our lives easier, but they've never then been more complex because of the different moving pieces within the tech world. So yeah, I mean, that's one of my sayings. You find me a problem in business and I'll find you a person behind it. So my main mission now is scaling through simplicity, eliminating buttons, clicks, and steps for people to take action. If there's 3 clicks, it's too many. So to me, it's how do I, let people focus on what they love to do, so they're happier, and then eliminate the problems that nobody likes to deal with through automation. So when there's something that is a repetitive task, that's the purpose of AI. It eliminates all the human errors and the monotonous tasks that make people lose purpose. We're now creating bots to fill those voids.
Mhm. So I told, yeah, I told myself after I spoke to you, I was really inspired by your journey, So just for our audience,
Yeah,
$40 million in AP, right? 434 people,
yeah, yeah,
100% organic growth, you told me,
yeah,
So
yeah.
for the audience, what was the before? What did you do before the more agencies? And what was the moment you decided to build your own agency? That was also a defining moment that you share with me.
Yeah. I can share that. So when I started, I like I said, graduated college, wanted to, being from New York, wanted to land in New York City. And when one of the gentlemen trying to recruit me bragged about how much money was being made when no one in the working class was making anything in the stock market, they didn't realize how I grew up, and they were kind of laughing about someone like my father who lost out his pension at Kodak. So
Mm.
um, that's when I was like, I want to get into sales. I want to get into finance, but I don't want to do it and not feel good. I never want to leave an environment going, I sold them. I've never left an environment going, I sold them in my life. I've
Mm,
helped people is all I do. So this got me into this industry. And like most people, um, I read this quote one time and it was like most human beings have 10 gears in a bicycle, but they never tap past gear five. And I was one of those people. And then my year anniversary with the company, a gentleman I grew up with, jumped off a boat and got paralyzed. And I remember sitting in the hospital room with him at 4 a.m. in the morning, and a halo was getting drilled in his skull to line up his spine. And my life was flashing before my eyes, and I felt like I had an attitude in life of like C's get degrees, like enough is good enough, and you don't need to push yourself more. And then when I watched that happen to someone I admired and who was very talented, I was like, if that was me, I don't have the financial means to have a life if I was in this accident. My parents, I would never put that burden on them, and I know they would have put it on themselves. So it was like enough of enough type of moment. And I didn't realize what I was capable of when I was backed against the wall. So like I helped rent out the new house he bought that he couldn't even live in. I moved out of my townhouse, moved into his duplex to cover the mortgage and rent it out. And I started doing things to help someone else and not realizing what I was capable of when I had no other option, but I had to get it done.
interesting.
And that snapped in my mind that day. So I never even was a top producer. I was number 25 out of 200 in the organization I started with. The following month, I won my first ever Producer of the Month plaque and went on to win 4 out of the next 6 months. And what I realized was I just didn't tap into the extra gears that I had. They were just getting dusty and rusty, you know?
Mm,
So I went on to be the top producer in my company my first full year in the field. At the same time, started getting into leadership and took a demotion. So the guy that got paralyzed would still earn income while he was in the hospital.
wow.
I was running the team for him. Then the owner who became my close mentor didn't allow me to take the step backwards. He's like, you have to take the promotion. You've helped enough. You've done enough for another man. You got to take care of you. And that's when I just started having a vision. I think, it says in the Bible that man without vision shall perish. And you don't realize how true that is until you live life with a vision and compare your life without one. And I have a vision bucket so big that
Mm,
anybody that I bring into my life and my business, I can fit their bucket inside of mine.
mhm.
Um, so 20, now we're in 2013. I was the youngest guy to open his own office in the history of New York State. We built that in 1 year to number 7 in the world. I mean, I'm in a city with one stoplight. This is pre-virtual and COVID. So you're physically doing things, sitting down with people in the houses and all the old school ways. Um, and then moved back to Syracuse, New York from Elmira, New York, took over the Syracuse office, got that to number 1 in the world. And that's when the CEO of Globe Life or American Income Life was retiring that year. The new CEO was taking over and wanted to have some sharp promotions. Well, my mentor ended up being his cousin and was like, I'll give you Nick to be a promoted SGA. And my phone rang with 5 offers the next day, and I picked Massachusetts out of Nashville, Phoenix, Arizona, St. Louis, Cincinnati, and Boston, Mass were my options. And I picked the one closest to my mom and dad. I'm a big
I
mama's boy.
remember. I
I would do
remember.
anything for family. They don't have to ask twice. I'll do it. And just knew I wanted to be close to home. So 2017, with the support of my mentor and the company, with 4 people, we did a startup agency. And our first year open in 2018, we opened the doors October 1st of 17. In 18, we were a startup agency of the year for the company. So in Global Life, they do like categories like divisions in college sports, like kind of like the soccer league in Europe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we started in the smallest category and bumped up, bumped up. We won every category we were in each year. The first 5 years I was an owner. In year 4, COVID hit.
Yes.
So I
And you
had the
mentioned That was
Yeah,
evolve or die, right? You know,
it was evolve or die, brother. That was it, man.
and then you had to take a loan, right? And you bought a tech company, and that you
That's
actually turned that into an opportunity, right? That was
that's it. Yeah, that's it. So no, you're great memory. Yeah, what happened was I looked at the liabilities as an agency owner and realized I'm spending 250 grand a year on leads. That was just on leads alone. So I'm like, wait, there's definitely something better I could do. And then working with the lead companies, I'm like, I can do this as good as them. I just need the team to help me do it. I'm a marketing guy. So ended up consulting for a marketing company. And one of the partners I was working closely with wanted me to buy out the other partner who was looking to get out of the industry. So I went from consultant to half owner, and I had a mentor give me a hard money loan of $1 million in the middle of COVID when people are afraid to walk out of their doors. I'm taking out, wasn't probably the smartest move at the time, but it worked out. $1 million hard loan, personal guaranteeing everything in the middle of COVID. But I did that betting on myself and knowing what the world was creating, which is opportunities. See, I don't look at problems as obstacles. I look at them as opportunities. They
let me
just
ask
happen.
you. Sorry, no, no,
No,
okay, go ahead,
please.
finish. No, 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 I think okay. But you have a powerful quote, okay? I think that's your philosophy. I put pressure on process, not people. So
Yes.
then how that philosophy manifest daily across your six insurance agencies and your staffing company? Where do you see the biggest resistance, I would say, to that idea?
So one is everybody resists change naturally. It's just the natural human nature because change is takes us out of the comfort zone,
Hmm.
but we die in comfort zones. We don't thrive. So, like, I really try to set up expectations for my team and the leaders within the team and knowing the only thing you can count on not changing is change because companies that don't change, you don't know about. Tell me about IBM. Tell me about Kodak. You know why you can't? Because they didn't change. Your My parents' generation can tell you all about those companies because they didn't evolve. Like Kodak laughed at the digital camera when it was presented, like Blockbuster laughed at Netflix,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So I really set up expectations ingraining from day one of hiring and conception of the one thing you can count on here is evolution and change to make life easier.
Hmm.
So I tie change to easy, not change makes life harder. If we change something and it didn't get easier, we change back.
Yeah.
I'm the first to admit I got a bad idea if it doesn't work.
And that's how you created a unified model, right? To simplify
Yes.
the system for your new leaders. So, what is the biggest challenge in integrating technology across six different agencies and ensuring every leader adopts the same process play, press and play process?
Great question. I would say tech actually makes implementation easy because you can't change it as much as you used to, right? Like I mean,
Yeah.
physically, like back in the day when you were hands on everything, like if you went to six different restaurants in a network, you could get six different menus and models. Now it's a lot easier to inspect what you expect when you have the virtual worlds you work in because I'm working with six owners from six parts of the country every day like we're in the same office. Like we'd be sitting at a conference table 10 years ago. So I just one, I set the foundation that we are going to evolve. I don't even like the word change. I like evolve, right? To
Hmm.
improve. We're
Hmm.
going to evolve this. And then two is I get the top leaders bought into the idea. So it's not my idea, it's their idea and our idea. Because
Hmm.
you're going to hate my ideas, but you're going to love yours. So, how do I work with my leaders to get the idea, their idea, so it becomes our idea?
Got it.
So I don't dictate with my partners, and that's why
Exactly.
I include, I embody their opinions. Um, and if it's only on me, they can blame me if it doesn't work. But if we do it together, there's no blame. We have group ownership, you
Got it.
know?
So then you also told me siloed AI versus Gen AI, right? You are very intentional about using siloed AI technology to
Yes,
control the
sir.
token in and out information. So
Yep.
what's the single greatest risk you face from using Gen AI, like ChatGPT or equivalent, in a highly regulated industry like insurance? And how much time, cost does maintaining your custom silo tech require?
So, so I would say one, um, I prefer the silo tech over the open, face technology because they can pull in not the best information. And I'm not knocking, any of the platforms out there. It's just I want to eliminate the human errors. So it may be a little bit more work in the beginning when you're
Right.
training a bot to answer, respond, and communicate until it starts to get a feel of everything and run with it. So one is I just like to eliminate the errors. I choose my heart, right? It's hard to build out the silo technology and to teach it what you want it to say and respond. It's a lot harder to have a bot teaching your people incorrectly because you're not
Mhm.
monitoring all the information the bot learns to distribute. So I would say number one is just I like to also not feel like that I'm a middleman where I'd rather put in the extra work myself and have it more customized for our team. And again, I can't, Mr. Francis, take the credit. I got brilliant people around me, and then I leverage every one of their beautiful brains that are. I love people smarter than me. It means I'm around the right people. So,
Sure.
we joint task solve. So again, it's got different, verbiages and languages, but
Uh,
that's one. And then number two is I'm big on a lot of these entrepreneurs out there, and I'll give you guys gold today for anyone listening. You don't need all the money when you have the idea. You can bring a brilliant idea to an AI team. The wizards, the techies, they don't have a lot of the creative ideas, the vision. They have the means to build creative vision. So what I do, every business I'm in is through collaboration of I take really good people I partnered with Arcovo AI. Shout out to Arcovo. Jeff Naus and Jake Tanner founded that company. They sold their first marketing company, Digital High, for $80 million, 8, 9 years ago. And these guys built it from the roots up in upstate New York. Then they got into AI. So I partnered with them on every bottom building from insurance to the cannabis dispensary industries we're in. I solve problems in these industries. And then I just sell the solution to the industry, and they're loving it because they would have never been able to build it
Sure,
themselves,
sure,
right?
sure. So more goal for our audience. Okay, so you operate through collaboration, right? Okay, and
Yes,
profit share partnerships. So when
yes,
you evaluate a partner, what is the number one non-negotiable system or capability they must already have, and what is the number one administrative weakness that immediately disqualifies a potential partner? Because that's not easy. Partnership is like getting married. So yeah.
100%. To me, I'm big on like birds and trees and fish and seeds, right? Like I like to know my weaknesses and strengths. I take personality tests once a year because ideally you're working on yourself and improving it. So again, I know myself so well, and then I try to find partners that strengthen weaknesses or have expertise in areas that I don't. So we have the Avengers, right? Like
Mm,
I want to get Spider-Man, Superman, and every superhero together, and then together we're the Avengers. Alone, you're Ant-Man. That's just weird. Well, when
mm.
you're with the Avengers, you're unstoppable. So I find the best people in the industry, and I'm not greedy. I don't have an ego, and I take care of everyone, probably more than I even should. But I want everyone to know we all got a seat at the table. I
Yeah.
bring people in as partners, not here's a couple points. They're going to treat it like a side hustle.
Mhm.
So identifying in partners, one is knowing your weaknesses to identify the strengths you need.
Mhm.
Because if I don't believe on working on weaknesses, that to me is a waste of time. I believe in enhancing strengths and finding somebody that's strong at your weakness. So when you have everybody leveraging strengths, everybody's happy. If
Mhm.
you make someone strong at one thing, feel weak in an area, they lose confidence in what you want them to be strong at.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I really try to find the partners. Now they just got to bring something to the table, and then we have strong partnership agreements and operating agreements where the key to good, healthy relationships and partnerships is communication, right? Like the number one cause of conflict to me is people avoiding confrontation is the number one cause of confrontation. So when your direct expectations are up front so they can be clear, when expectations are clear, how are they met? And the number one cause of problems in partnerships is resent because you felt like I should be doing this. I feel like you should be doing this. Both of us are unhappy when the other person's not doing it, but it was never discussed or written down. So with a quality partnership agreement with direct expectations, and I mean shake out the rug, like no stone is unturned. When this pops up, who's going to be responsible?
Yeah.
Like, and there's a great Charlie Munger, if you're familiar with him, Warren Buffett's partner, he wrote a book on the inversion process, which is my favorite thing to do in business. And
Mm,
that's his job with Buffett was how do I go in and make this company fail before we invest? So if I can't, like, so the first thing, for example, when they looked at Apple, he goes, well, I'm going to make sure if they lose their supply chain, what are they going to do? Well, we found out they had multiple supply chains. They had this covered. They had this covered. So he
mm.
inverts a company and go, if this was going to fail, how would it fail? And are they prepared for it? Then they decide if they want to invest. So what I do is I invert every company before we take conception. And I go, how would this fail? Who's going to be responsible for this task to make sure that doesn't happen? And if we need a partner for it that we don't have, we pull another seat at the table. If no partners want to do it, we all got to do it together.
So even if you do that inverting thing, which is super smart, yes, and done by the best, Warren Buffett, okay, they still have surprises. So your digital staffing company hit $1 million on accident, right? That's what you told
Yes.
me. So
Yeah.
what was the single most surprising bottleneck that you solved in that business that you now realize is a massive scalable problem for other industries?
So yeah, what I think what that was again, it was eliminating all the moving pieces. Like years
Yeah.
ago, when we wanted to interview somebody, you call a resume, send them an address, they show up, you're done.
Mhm.
Nowadays, there's 37 links to get to a link, to get to this, to get to this, to get to that, where so
Mhm.
many people I feel like get frustrated because something's not easy. So
Yes.
what we built was a software that eliminated the human errors where people drop the balls.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
at Connected Staffing, we do HR for companies. So if you're a small business owner and you got 30 employees, you don't have the time to run your own HR department. And if you don't can't afford an HR person, you're doing it yourself. We built a software that is going to destroy the industry because the average staffer wants to charge 10% of someone's salary. Well, that's great, but Joey Bag of Donuts, who has 5 employees, can't pay 10 grand for a labor, right? Um, Temp agencies charge $500 a week. Well, again, that small business owner, how do they afford that on top of me paying you good money? So now I
Sure.
got to take from someone's family to pay the person. We're
Yep. Yep.
charging
Yep. Yep.
$300 a qualified
Yep.
interview. They
Yep.
show
Yep.
up to your business.
Yep. Yep.
So we just eliminated all of the extra hoops. And with the AI and what we learned for the bottleneck, to your point, was just we eliminated a lot of the busy problems that people had to regularly deal with. And again, where people dropped balls.
Mm.
People love talking to clients if they're recruiting. They hate doing all the logistical stuff around it. So
Mhm.
we built a software that does all the annoying things. So all you got to do is hit the golf ball. It tees it up, it finds it for you, it does everything. You just drive for a living, the best part of golf.
Okay. All right. So that's so let's talk about the future.
Sure.
Okay. If you could wave a magic wand, okay, and instantly solve one problem across all your businesses, eliminating one single point of friction, what would that be, that one problem be, and what would that freed up capacity allow you to focus on next?
That's a great question. I would say creating a culture and environment with people working remote. How could we build that environment that people aren't going blue-eyed staring at computers when they work remote from home?
Yeah.
I feel like we've lost a lot of we've dehumanized the world as we've gone virtual. It's no longer what it used to be.
Mhm.
So people are just less happier because of that. And it's relationships. The people is what make
Mhm.
give you purpose, right?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
you work harder for other people than we ever do ourselves,
Mhm.
right? It's like the mom that lifts a car to save a child. Like there's recordings of these because you get that superhuman power when
Yeah.
another human being is needing you. I would say a magic wand for me is how do we create a beautiful environment for people to feel like they're with other people while they're stuck at home if they don't want to be stuck at home.
Mm.
So
That's a good vision. Yeah. And that's relevant, of course, because with AI, it's going to be more and more apps, more and more login, more and more,
yes.
So listen, our closing question, so your focus on systems and tech is clearly driving exponential growth, right? Everybody's wishing to have what you have created. So as we wrap up, I'm curious, given the complexity of scaling custom AI solutions, are you currently satisfied with the speed and efficiency of your internal development team, and or are you actively seeking external partners to accelerate the deployment of your next gen of AI solutions?
One, I am happy, but two, can always make it better. See, if I would have said to you right here, I'm the best I can be, I'm already failing. Any human being that doesn't feel there's areas to grow in, you're either busy growing or busy dying. The only
Mm,
thing that stays the same is fake. Fake grass doesn't grow or die. If you want to be real, you're either growing or dying. So for your answer is shame on me if I'm not open-minded to make things better, to improve, to collaborate with other brilliant minds to solve the problems to make our lives easier. I mean, I'm doing this for a lot more than just making money. I could care less about the money. It's the impact and the doors that money opens for people. I've never had more money, and I feel the same way I did before. If
uh,
anything, it doesn't change you at all. I mean, clearly you have a little bit different stresses in your life, but
yeah, yeah,
I mean, yeah, to me, through collaboration, through relationships, that to me is the recipe for success and being okay with what you don't know, but being determined to learn what you need to know.
yeah. So, well, thank you. So I heard a man, Nick, who's very detailed, thorough, self-challenging 360 all the time, dynamic, and find solutions to solve great problems and make the situation easier so that it flows and money can be made and right. And then also seeking inspiring models and open to partnerships to always, go faster, better, and not take status quo for the end destination, right?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. I think you've been an amazing inspiration, very instrumental, and we're going to close now. And I hope we'll stay in touch and
Yes.
keep learning from you. Right. Thank you very
God
much.
bless, Francis.